He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
Live from the Play Show, you're not overly ostentatious studios of 365 Sports here in beautiful New York City. Welcome on in to what is a Wednesday edition of the Zach Gelb Show right here on 365 Sports. You could always get at me on the good old cesspool of Twitter or on Instagram where I'm straight flexing at Zach Gelb. That's ZACHGELB. Or you can find me on TikTok at the Zach Gelb Show. Most importantly, youtube.com/@365SportsYT. youtube.com/@365SportsYT. Whether you're watching us now live or you're consuming us after our show does run Monday through Fridays live from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. You just type in youtube.com/@365SportsYT and you make sure you subscribe. We will be joined coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern time by Zach Berman from The Athletic. We will continue all of our offseason coverage as we go through all 32 teams. Next up will be the Philadelphia Eagles today. And by the way, Garrett Ross, I got two questions for you. I got a few questions for you right out of the gate. Garrett Ross back in our Waco, Texas studios. I'm a little bit annoyed with my barber, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay, I've been there.
So I was growing out my hair. And I've been doing that for like the last 2 years. I would usually just get like skin fades and cut it real short, buzz cuts. And through the years, I then said, all right, I'll stop doing the skin fade. Just give me like a 6 on the top and like an 8 on this. No, a 6 on the sides and 8 on the top. And then I went through I went through like a 5-month period of just scissor trim it. Just trim it with the scissors. That's it. And then recently I said, all right, you could just scissor trim it on the top. The sides go like an 8. And then I said a 7. And then I went with the 6. And I went back to the barber last week before I was going to Orlando. And I had like a lot of hair. I didn't get my hair cut probably since the Super Bowl. So like my hair was getting pretty long. And I go, all right, yeah, I want to keep on growing it out. I don't want to take too much off. Just trim the top and do a 6 on the sides. And as he's doing so, and I've been using this barber since 2019. He's a great barber, phenomenal barber, has never given me a bad haircut. And then he goes, oh, a lot of hair's coming off. And like, I feel like it's very short on the sides right now, like too short. So
you got about a 4 on the side, it looks like.
Right? This is not a 6.
That's not a 6. That's about a 4.
Right? That is not a 6.
No.
So I'm a little bit annoyed at my barber. That's number one. Number two, I woke up this morning. Now, you know, us here at Rogue Media and 365 Sports, we're entering the big boy world here, guys.
Yes.
We are now using this thing called Slack, which I used to use at my old job. But Slack is basically just a platform to more easily communicate with the mass amount of people. We send a lot of large files being in this business. So it's just easier than, oh, I'm going to do Dropbox or I'm going to do a Google Drive and all that stuff. And you could access it right from your phone. It's basically like texting for professional life, but when sending large data. So I'm getting these texts this morning, or these Slack messages, whatever they call them, from Smokey. And I have no clue what's going on. So obviously we are a digital-based show. You just go to YouTube, you get us. You can find us wherever you do get your podcast, the Zach Gelb Show on 365 Sports. Once again, youtube.com/@365SportsYT. I didn't know, Garrett, that after this show ends, and Garrett wears a lot of hats around here. He's a diligent guy. I didn't know that you had to put together, what is it, like a 30-minute best of the day from the network, and it airs on TV in Waco?
Yeah, so it airs every night, every weeknight, Monday through Friday, on the local CW, which is, you go over there, get all your stuff. And
we have CW here in the city, like channel CW 11.
Right. Yeah. So we have it, and every night about 10:30 after Seinfeld, we have our show that comes on there. And what I'll do is I'll take 4 segments from every show we have, and I try to correlate them to where they flow together, right? So if I want March Madness talk, yada, yada, yada. And then if we have stuff that leans more locally, I'll go in that aspect and I'll put the show together. So yeah, we have a show that I put together, I piece together shows clips from your show, Smokey and them, and we have John Moore's show in the morning, Voice of the Baylor Bears. So I put all that together and I'll put it out there for them. I guess Smokey wasn't aware that I use multiple things. So there was a confusion, I believe.
So he was being a whore is what you were saying. He just wanted only him.
He just wanted only him, which, that's how
only Smokey, only fans, only Smokey.
Only fans, only Smokey. He loves some Smokey. So, yeah, he was a little confused by that this morning, I think, is what happened.
So Smokey probably up late night. What, like Seinfeld is probably on that channel?
Yeah, so we literally go on after Seinfeld. So Seinfeld ends, it's like 10 to 10:30, and then we're on from, I guess it's like 10:30 to 11.
So Smokey was probably, I don't know, in his underwear last night. That probably wears like a tank top, a t-shirt, right?
He's definitely a t-shirt guy. From what I've seen him plenty. Yeah, he's a t-shirt guy. Not like that, but we've shared plenty of rooms, staying trips, and all that shit.
You've seen more of Smokey than you'd ever want to imagine.
Exactly.
So Smokey probably last night sits down, underwear, probably a t-shirt on, is watching Seinfeld, the same episode for the 7,000th time, and then he's like, "All right, I got to get ready to watch me some Smokey.
I got to watch me.
I got to do a little self-scouting," and it's just J-Mo and Gelb is what you were saying.
That's exactly what happened. I think it threw him for a loop.
I wonder how I'm perceived in Waco for people that watch that at like 10:30 or 11, because J-Mo is probably like soft-spoken, calm, right?
He's pretty chill, yeah.
Smokey is more animated, but doesn't have New York bravado, but he's animated.
No, he's animated.
But you could tell that like he is in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Then they get me on. They probably go, "Who the heck is this bloviating jackass Yankee?" Right?
Well, I think it kind of parallels, right? Like you got the Seinfeld there, so you're already in tune.
Keeps people up.
Yeah, you keep people up. You're in tune with your New Yorkisms, and we just take it into those.
Oh my God! Now I gotta watch what I say. When we have a great segment, I'm just gonna call someone a douche and see and just see how that plays.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll stay away from religion and guns, though. Stay away from that. Don't
want to get people. That play well here.
Well, it depends which side of the fence you fall on. I don't want to be very controversial. I know that John Valade's been trying to get me to go down for a week and come check out the studios in Waco. Now knowing that we're on TV, I may need a security guard to walk around Waco, Texas. Someone may want to take me out. Oh, what, you'd be the security?
Yeah, I'll be your security.
I wouldn't feel very safe if I'm just being
That's
honest.
fair. That's completely fair.
Who was the guy that used to work with Brendan, right?
Oh, Brendan, yeah.
I think he'd be a decent security guard.
He could be. He could be a decent security guard. I think he's a little too nice.
Well, doesn't Andrew Valade, John Valade's son?
He does some kung fu or taekwondo and stuff.
Yeah, like, you know what? Sometimes the silent ones could be the assassin, don't get me wrong. But I was told that from John, we had one of the UFC guests, I may have been John Anik. He's like, "Oh, my son is a huge UFC fan and he actually trains." And when I was expecting to see Andrew Valade in person, who I've never met before, I just, exchanged messages, hardworking guy, good dude. When I was expecting to see him, I thought it was going to be like a 5'10" shredded guy. Now I would say he's rather jacked. I think that's safe to say. But like, how tall is he? 5'6"?
5'6".
Yeah. So I was expecting him to be a meathead. Pretty much is what I was saying. And he wasn't a meathead.
No, not.
So I was a little bit surprised. And all through the time we were there at Super Bowl week, I kept on giving him jabs.
You got to check him, man. Yeah.
I kept on giving him jabs and just trying to see. I was like, we were coming to the bar one night. I'm like, fight me, come on. And I was just waiting for him to clock me cold. But then I was like, I don't think it's going to happen. So I was trying to see what would happen.
I don't think
some guy that I used to work with, Ike Feldman. He covers UFC, I think, for Bro Bible now, I want to say. But he used to produce me when I first started at CBS Sports Radio. He was producing, like the overnights or weekend overnights. He trains. Now he is ripped, but he's like, you would look at him and you wouldn't think he's ripped.
Right.
He looks kind of like he's built like a beanpole, if I'm just being
Mm-hmm.
honest. But he told me that he fought, and I go, fought what? Like what are you fighting? And he has been fighting in events. And I said, I want to be in your corner and just like walk out and kind of be with the be a groupie or part of the posse and just help out my main man Ike Feldman. So I guess that's where we're at right now. We're on CW in Waco.
Correct.
How about that? Okay.
Yeah.
So away we go in a very busy Wednesday edition of the Zach Gelb Show right here on 365 Sports. I'm going to be transparent with you.
Okay.
I got up earlier than normal today. I am in one cranky, miserable mood today. I don't know why. I just got up early. I'm in a cranky, miserable mood, and I don't got time for any BS. My biggest conflict right now in life is I'm trying to figure out tonight after I do this. So this wraps right at like 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
I then got to go jump on a show that I do a weekly hit on in Miami at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then I'll get off that at like 4:40, 4:50 p.m. Eastern time. I got to do my laundry tonight, which is a pain in the ass. I got a lot of laundry. I got to go to the gym and I got to eat dinner. And I'm trying to determine the order in which I'm going to do that. And I kind of thought I would eat, like go put the clothes in the washer, make dinner. But then I'm like, if I make dinner and let's say I eat by 5:30, like I'm just going to do some broccoli and some onions and some rice and chicken sausage. Nothing great. It takes like 25, 30 minutes to make. But if I eat right away at like 5:30, then I'm probably not working out to what, 8:30, 9?
Yep.
So should I laundry, put the stuff in the washer, then go work out for an hour, then put the stuff in the dryer, and then come up and make dinner? Is that what I should do?
Probably so. Like, where do you have to wash? Do you have a washer and dryer in your house, or you got to go down somewhere?
I just have to go downstairs in my apartment complex. Yeah.
Yeah, I would honestly. What I would do is I would go work out. I would throw my stuff in the washer, go work out, grab it, come back up, put it up, and then eat.
Start making dinner. Yeah, yep. And then when you're done with dinner and I'm done feeding my fat ass, then I could just go fold the clothes and then hopefully go to bed early. And this is the thing. I'm tired now. This is the worst, and everyone could relate to this. When you say that you're tired, and then you end up staying up till like 12 or 1 today.
Dude, it's the worst. Yes.
Yeah. So I want to start the show with this today. I am not a host that does fake outrage or fake excitement. I'm just not. Now, sometimes people go, oh, you have fake outrage just because I'm a loud Northeast guy, where people go, oh, like, are you really screaming? Like, I'm not even screaming yet, dude. Like, you will know when Zach Gelb is smoke coming out of the ears and just going on a rant and just shredding people. Like the day I crushed Tony Dungy, who ended up losing his job with NBC, and that other dope, Bill Polian, who didn't put Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame. And Bill Polian had to contact the Hall of Fame to see if they could verify if he actually voted for Bill Belichick. And then Rodney Harrison schooled Tony Dungy on Super Bowl Sunday, and it made for some fun stuff. So I'm not someone that needs to just be like the rah-rah guy, or I'm not someone that needs to just yell for the sake of yelling. I do enough of that just naturally. So this is what I will say about the World Baseball Classic last night. I don't give a crap. I really don't. The World Baseball Classic to me, and if it resonates for you, fine. I'm not telling you how to live your life. But the World Baseball Classic for me has never resonated. I've never loved the World Baseball Classic, and maybe it's because it wasn't around like when my dad was growing up, and then it gets right passed on, and then you watch it. Because, for example, if the U.S. would have lost to Canada in the Olympic medal gold hockey game, I would have been furious, because I remember as a kid where I was watching in 2002 where they lost to the gold medal game. I was watching when we lost to Sidney Crosby, and you had the golden goal where they lost in the semifinals years later to Canada. So I remember growing up with it. And I'm not saying I'm apprehensive or not inclined to try new things. But the World Baseball Classic, the timing of it stinks. I understand there's energy and there's excitement. I saw the crowds, right, throughout the World Baseball Classic. They were pretty damn cool. But for me personally, I've never been someone that said, wow, I got to watch the World Baseball Classic. Now, I'm in the sports world, so I got to pay attention to it. But you'll have a lot of talk show hosts today that will pretend to be miserable, pretend to be upset, pretend to be furious about the World Baseball Classic. And I'm only one person, but I don't really buy their outrage. Like, I look back at the World Baseball Classic last night. I did find Twitter amusing last night because Aaron Judge had 3 strikeouts, and Aaron Judge is a Yankee. So you will have all these Yankee fans defending Aaron Judge today. Oh, no, he's clutch, blah, 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 blah. But it would be disingenuous of me to do a 25-minute monologue today just bashing and laying into and yelling about Aaron Judge when in reality, I don't care. I don't. Now, did I find the jokes amusing last night at the expense of Aaron Judge? Of course. I'm a human being. I could laugh at things that are funny. But would my life be any different today if I woke up knowing that the USA beat Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic? No. Now, there are moments in sports where your life does feel different. When my Patriots lost the Super Bowl this year, I was in like a 3-day funk where I was just, I can't believe they lost. When the Patriots came back and I was at the game up against the Falcons, 28-3, I was on a 2 to 3 month euphoria. Right? When my Rangers lost in the Stanley Cup to the LA Kings, I didn't move off the couch for, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours. When the Rangers lost a few years ago in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Panthers, I didn't move. So there are moments where I know people just say, oh, it's just a game. But sports does impact your mood and dictates how you kind of live your life, even though that could sound insane to people. But like when the U.S. beat Canada, it was, relief. Oh, this is awesome in hockey. But I truly just did not care. I didn't, and Noah McLean, who's a Met, and I'm a Mets fan, he started last night, went 4 or 5 innings. I didn't even tune in for the first inning. I eventually turned it on. I saw that the U.S. was trailing 2-0. Bryce Harper eventually hit that home run in the 8th, and they gave it back in the 9th on the RBI. I think it was a double. And the next thing you know, they lose 3-2, and that's it. But this is why, and it's maybe even more so just it not resonating with me and it being introduced later on in my life. But then also the like who you can use and who you can't use in the World Baseball Classic is ridiculous. Because you have the teams, their Major League Baseball team saying, we prefer you not to use your guy. You could only do this. Like, I love Tarek Skubal. My fantasy baseball team, I got my draft tomorrow night. It's named after Tarek Skubal, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Tarek Skubal has, came on my show 3 or 4 times. I like Tarek Skubal. But you came, you played in one game, you went back, and then you're sitting there about how you traveled back just to sit on your ass and watch the game? You're not part of the team anymore. Who cares? Or Mason Miller? Oh, well, the Padres said we would prefer him only to be used in save situations. Like, what are we doing? There's too many bumpers up for me to get invested when clearly the USA's best product wasn't on the field. Now, I understand that for other countries, it's going to mean more. I do. And it seems like in the World Baseball Classic, it doesn't really mean much for the USA. Like, even if the USA would have won last night, Garrett, and I love my country, I do. Am I leading the show today saying, whippee-i-o-ki-yay, like, woohoo, the USA, they did it? No, it'd be a totally different feel than in the Olympics where the USA won the gold medal. And right, in our roots, right, going back to 1980 and the Miracle on Ice, there hasn't been a gold medal since. And then they put this team together and they beat the Canadians and got revenge from from the early 2000s, got revenge then from Sidney Crosby golden goal. It just felt totally different. This was not the same vibe. Even as much as Aaron Judge, who doesn't have a World Series ring, is trying to tell you, oh, I played in the World Series. The vibe here at the World Baseball Classic, the crowds are better. Well, yeah, Aaron, you lost the World Series. If you would have won a World Series in New York, there is no way you're saying the World Baseball Classic crowd is better than a World Series crowd winning a World Series at Yankee Stadium. And you know what? And you know what annoyed? See, Derek Jeter could be a little bit of a putty cat.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Jeter should have just called out Judge by name. Instead, he's like, oh, well, if you say those things, you haven't played in a World Series. Now, Aaron Judge has played in a World Series. Jeter will always give himself an out. Oh, I said you haven't played in a World Series, blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about Judge. He's damn right talking about Judge.
Yes.
Because Derek Jeter knows winning this World Baseball Classic, it's a nice little accomplishment. It's fine. But you get remembered in baseball for two things: winning a World Series or going to Cooperstown.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you determine your legacy. No one is sitting there and saying, how many World Baseball Classics did Bryce Harper win or did Aaron Judge win? Aaron Judge is a heck of a player.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Shohei Ohtani, he's probably the best player in the sport. And what's the glaring omission on Aaron Judge's resume? Got MVPs. He's got all the All-Star appearances you can need. The glaring omission is a World Series championship.
Yep.
So I don't know how you feel about this, Garrett. I give two shits today about and I guess you can't use this segment now for the CW in Waco. They'd be like, what's this Yankee talking about? What is Aaron Judge?
Aaron Judge. Oh my God.
Talk about the Baylor Bears.
Came right up Bears. Oh my God.
What about Scott Drew? Maybe he should have gone to Kentucky.
He might should have at this point. Jesus.
And that Aranda should be fired.
You sound like a local.
I feel like I'm doing a crappy South Park impersonation. Hey, took our jabs. I remember. But anyway, it's like I can't sit here and lose my mind over Aaron Judge not showing up in the World Baseball Classic. And I can't lose my mind today. And trust me, I love to lose my mind over sports about the USA losing to Venezuela because, quite frankly, I simply just don't care about the World Baseball Classic.
Dude, this is the first year I've ever really watched it, honestly. Like, and full disclosure, I watched it specifically for Paul Skeens because I'm not able to watch him play during the regular season. You know how just dysfunctional the MLB is with their television stuff. And in Texas, I'm not buying the MLB network. I refuse to do that. So I can hardly ever get to watch Skeens pitch. So I was locked in just to watch him. And it was fun. It was entertaining. But, like, it does mean so much more to the other countries. And I was low-key rooting for Venezuela just for different reasons in general. But at the end of the day, like, it was cool to see that. I think it meant the world to them. They need something like that right now. And for us, I'm not a big Olympics person either because I feel my personal opinion is the U.S. has all these damn advantages over everybody financially. You get all of the stuff. You have all these advantages over everybody. So to me, you should be beating them. So I kind of want to see you get upset.
Interesting.
Well, that's just me.
Well, I'm not anti-America. I want to see the Americans win. But I will say for the Olympics, in my lifetime, I would say I do get interested in the basketball. Now, most of the times usually just slaughter everybody. Hockey, I've always been involved in it. When Michael Phelps was swimming, phenomenal. But really outside of that, I'm not a huge Olympics guy.
My thing is, like, why am I supposed to dedicate time and act like I truly care about these sports that I don't even really know about or ever see outside of, like, every 4 to 8 years? Like, I'm really supposed to get pumped about curling? I don't give a damn.
I will say, well, I think you should be more open-minded on curling, but I will say the skiing sometimes is interesting.
It can be. Like, I like extreme sports and stuff like that, so I can watch that a little bit. But even this year, like I felt really since Sean White was gone, there's no like names to draw you in, from my perspective.
Yeah, and then you have the unfortunate situation with Lindsey Vaughn, who's obviously a legend too. So you're right though. I'm at a point now, and it's weird because I'm going to opening day next week for the Mets, where the Mets are playing the Pirates, and you will see Paul Skeens on the mound. I wonder if Livy Dunn will be in the building.
You know she's going to be in the building.
If you want Livy, my friend and I, Alex, we're sitting in the outfield. We're both taken, but if you want to just have a good time, we could have you sit in the outfield. I'm sure that's where you want to sit.
That's exactly where she wants to be.
At Citi Field. It's right next to the egg roll stands and the chicken bucket and the Pat LaFrida steak sandwich and the Shake Shack out in the outfield. So I am excited for baseball season to start. But I say this about, and this may be also, it may be more that the World Baseball Classic, there was never excitement about it, even when I was growing up when it was introduced. Yeah. But for me, it feels as if it's just preseason.
That's all it is. In
America. And I say this, preseason football, can't stand it. Preseason basketball, who gives a crap? They don't care about the regular season in the NBA. Yep. Preseason hockey, not a fan. So, like spring training baseball, if you tell me I get to go spend a few days in Florida, awesome. As a kid, I could see why you want to go because you could go to the sites. And I remember meeting Albert Pujols and going to Jupiter and seeing the Cardinals. I remember going to Mets training camp or spring training and meeting some of the guys. Like I get it for the kids,
right?
But as a adult and somewhat of a grown man, because we do this for a living, so it's tough to really say that like, oh, we're doing some job or we're digging ditches. It's like, all right, an exhibition, preseason, spring training, it just doesn't do anything for me.
No.
And I'm excited for March Madness to start on Thursday. And that's going to be a fun 3 to 4 week stretch. I'm excited for the Masters. I do like the golf majors. And one of them this year is at Shinnecock. So I'm going to try to go out there. But for the most part, I'm surprised I'm about to say this. And it just shows you what sport has us by the cojones the most. I can't wait for September. When we get college football and the NFL back.
Yeah.
I am going to be so happy. So, yes, Aaron Judge is a bum. Aaron Judge stinks. He blows. Like, could you imagine getting on the radio or getting on a show today about a World Baseball Classic that in reality means zero, absolutely zero, and going, oh, Aaron Judge struck out 3 times. He disappointed the country. He blows. He's a bum. Now, you could say Aaron Judge needs to be more clutch and Aaron Judge needs to go win a World Series, and he's one of the biggest stars in sports right now that doesn't have a championship. I would say Josh Allen. I would say Connor McDavid. Then probably Aaron Judge would be 3, Lamar Jackson. You get into Luka Doncic too. But if that's the conversation, that's different, and we'll have that conversation. But holding what he did in the World Baseball Classic where he stunk last night, he struck out 3 times and he looked lost at the plate. I don't know. To get on him for what? What would have happened if the USA would have won the World Baseball Classic? It'd be a lot of fake excitement.
Yeah.
Just as a lot of this today is fake outrage. The World Baseball Classic means nothing to me. It's totally different than USA Hockey in the Olympics, men's and women's. It's totally different than all this stuff. The World Baseball Classic, folks, and if this makes me a bad American, so be it. I love our country. It just never resonated with me. It seems as if it's a glorified spring training. And sure, for other countries, it means a whole lot. But in America, if you're being honest with yourself, you didn't give 2 shits about the World Baseball Classic last night. You didn't. The only reason you tuned in is because A, you're either a sucker or there's nothing else on right now. Well, what are you going to go watch the first 4? No, you're going to really start watching March Madness on Thursday. In the NBA regular season, you have no clue who's even playing with all this load management. And there's no football on right now. So you watched it with your son last night, right, Garrett?
Yeah, I was going back and forth between it and the Wild and Blackhawks. That's where I was at last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, nice little bonding experience for you and your son.
Yeah.
But little Birdie told me that your son said after the 7th inning, Daddy, this is boring baseball. I want to go to bed.
He was like, "I'm chunking the deuce. It's time to go to bed, get ready for school." But no, it was cool, man. Like, I mean, it was passing the time, right? You're right. That's all it is spring training. It's just another version of spring training. The one thing I'm interested because you're in New York, but talking about Aaron Judge, I thought it was interesting from my perspective. It feels like he's one of those guys that people act like they like, but they don't really like.
In New York?
Just in general.
Oh,
dude.
no, people love Aaron Judge.
See, because it looked, there was a lot of times where it felt like it looked disingenuous, or there was cameras and people were like acting like they had to like him. That's just my perception of it. But I didn't know, like, do people really like him? Do people not like him?
Oh, no, Aaron Judge is as big of a star, I think, is the biggest star right now in New York. The only one that I could think could rival him, and he's not the same player, but he's turned the team around, is Jalen Brunson with the Knicks. But Judge, in terms of individual ability, is a much better baseball player than Jalen Brunson is a basketball player. Yeah, no, it would be Judge and Brunson. And, yeah, you know, Soto and Lindor are very popular, but you got to go win something. I know Judge hasn't won anything, and technically Brunson hasn't won anything either. Yeah. But Judge has been to a World Series. Brunson just had the team in the conference finals. But, yeah, like, New York is a baseball town first.
Oh, yeah.
In football, the Jets and the Giants are usually picking in the top 10 of the draft, you know, for my entire life. So if you go get a big quarterback, if Jackson Dart turns out to be a stud, he'll go right near the top of that list. But it's still the Yankees in New York.
Right.
They're still the biggest draw, the Yankees and the Knicks. The Rangers are very happening too, but the Rangers stink this year.
Yeah, they're terrible.
And Chris Drury needs to be fired. But, yeah, Judge and Brunson are like megastars, and Judge is phenomenal, and he's one of the best players in baseball. And it seems like every year it's a debate: who's the better player? Is it Ohtani or is it Judge? Now, when Ohtani's like the modern day Babe Ruth, it's not even a close comparison.
No,
but Judge is phenomenal, good dude. From everything that I've heard, I think easy to root for. But when you're on the Yankees and you look at the history of the Yankees, you got to go win a World Series.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if Aaron Judge was on the Kansas City Royals, he'd be a god out there.
Yeah.
In New York, everyone appreciates Aaron Judge. But when you get into the Jeters, the Roos, right? Like you go
There's
through
levels.
that list, Gehrig and Mantle, right? You go through all Yogi, and you go through all the legendary Yankees. All right. You know what it's like? Aaron Judge is kind of Dan Marino-ish. Like everyone acknowledges right now that Aaron Judge is one of the best players in baseball. If you did a top 10 quarterback list of all time, everyone would say Dan Marino is on it.
Correct.
But when you get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and let's say there's a table, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes one day, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, like, it's obvious that, Dan Marino gets into the VIP section. But inside the VIP section, there's a VIP section.
Right.
And when you're inside the VIP section and Dan Marino, who's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, is looking there, and on his fingers he has no rings, it's like, ooh, you're the ugly duckling in this conversation. That's Aaron Judge right now in Yankees lore, where look at all the all-time greats that they've had, the iconic players, and Aaron Judge, in terms of stats, is all right there. And what he does, he's like, it's like Bonds-like in term. Another player that didn't win a championship, but it's Bonds-like with these home runs that he hits. And to my understanding, Judge is just a giant. He's not on steroids. But when you don't have the rings and you're on the Yankees, it's like Drake May. Drake May. I know he's only 2 years in. Drake May could go on to have a 15-year career. Could go to 10 Pro Bowls, could be a 5-time first-team All-Pro and make the Hall of Fame. If Drake May doesn't win a Super Bowl, when you're in an organization that Tom Brady won 6, you're going to be held to a different standard. Yep. So I do think it matters which team you do play on. But yeah, the World Baseball Classic last night, I'd be lying to you if I was devastated today.
Right.
If I was gutted today. So you look around sports right now. Stars that need to win a championship in this order. Number 5, Luka Doncic. And this, I'm going to put Luka here So Luka got to the conference final, got to the finals with the Mavs, where they beat the Timberwolves, I believe, and they ended up losing that championship to the Celtics. And then you look at Luka Doncic, he gets traded to the Lakers. I don't think there's pressure right now on Luka, but whether it's this year or next year, or maybe LeBron leaves the team in the offseason, whenever LeBron is off the Lakers, you're going to be looking at Luka and you're going to be saying, you got to go win a championship. Because it's the same thing. Shaq, Kobe, Kareem, Magic. If you don't win a championship with the Lakers, yeah, you get your jersey retired. You could be looked at as a great, but you're not an all-time great with the Lakers if you don't win a championship. So there will be pressure building on Luka Doncic. In at number 4, it's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, he's got 2 MVPs. Lamar Jackson's one of the more exciting players in the NFL, but he has 2 problems. Kansas City Chiefs problem, hasn't defeated them in a playoff game, and then he's got a Buffalo Bills problem too.
Yep.
So he's got to slay 2 dragons. If both those dragons are in the postseason, this past year, the Ravens obviously weren't. The Chiefs weren't. The Bills were. And Lamar is someone where, with the injuries that he suffered, you don't know how many more elite years that he's going to have. When he's playing, he's one of the best quarterbacks in football. That's a fact. But he's got to go win a championship, or else it's just going to be like, oh, the rushing numbers are great. Oh, he improved as a passer, right? He's thrown 40 touchdown passes a few times in his career. He's got 2 MVPs, one of the most entertaining quarterbacks you've ever seen. There will be a but, never made it to the Super Bowl. But never won a championship. That's a problem. 3, we talked about Aaron Judge. 2, it's Connor McDavid. Because
what happened this year?
No, it's
not with Draisaitl.
Yeah, well, it wasn't going to happen before. You look around hockey, and I think the Panthers are starting to get on a run.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you look at it with the Maple Leafs and how bad they've been, the Oilers too. I mean, and the Panthers. It's kind of stunning, the teams that we thought were going to be good in hockey this year.
Yeah.
And just how it's not the case. Like right now, the Oilers, they have 77 points, and they're in they're Pacific, so they're not as bad as obviously what the Maple Leafs and the Panthers are. The Maple Leafs have 70 points. They're 29-28. The Panthers are 33-31 and 3. They only have 69 points.
Yeah.
So, like, could they technically go on a run here and squeeze themselves in? I get, but it's probably not looking likely. But Draisaitl's now out for the season. Is that just a regular season or the entire season?
For the year. Yeah,
they're screwed. And they were in the Cup final a few years ago to the Panthers. They were down 3-0, then made the comeback, and they lost Game 7. But if you look at this pound for pound, and number 1 is obviously Josh Allen, just how many devastating postseason performances as a team that they've suffered, and you're on a franchise where they lost 4 straight Super Bowls. You haven't got to a Super Bowl. You've won your MVP. You got to go win a championship. This year, no Mahomes in the playoffs. You can't even get to the championship. But if you look at the individual ability, Luka, Lamar, Judge, McDavid, and Josh Allen, would you say McDavid is the best player in his sport? Like,
out of those?
Like, put it this way.
Yeah.
Luka is not the best player in the NBA. Lamar is not the best quarterback in the NFL. Aaron Judge, probably the second best player in Major League Baseball. 1 would be Ohtani. So Judge is right up there.
He's up there.
McDavid.
Yeah.
He people compare him to Gretzky.
Yeah.
There's a little difference. Gretzky's got rings. Got a lot of them. You don't.
No,
and I mean, Josh Allen, you could argue Josh Allen is the best football player.
Right.
But if Mahomes comes back and has a great season, then people start saying, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, if you're talking about them and pound for pound, yeah, without a doubt, McDavid's the best as far as his league and the position go. What he's done is ridiculous. Now, you have a lot of young talent that's trying to chase him, but yeah, he's on top of his game right now.
And he won a Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
He won a Conn Smythe in a losing effort.
Yeah. Which
I think that was the first time that happened since the Devils played the Ducks with that goalie, John Sebastian Jaguar, I think his name was. I remember that growing up. But, man, you look at the list of 5 athletes who need to win a ring the most. I wrote to you 5 athletes who win a ring.
Win a ring.
I told you my brains are moving slow today. 5 athletes who need to win a ring the most. I would say Josh Allen's 1, Connor McDavid 2, Aaron Judge 3, Lamar Jackson 4, Luka Doncic 5.
if you had to throw out an honorable mention, who would it be? Mine would be Austin Matthews.
That is fair. Now, maybe there's a little pressure off of him because he just captained the USA hockey team to a gold. But, oh, boy. Matthews is definitely fair. Now, for the NFL, I think it's really only quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I do. So I'm probably like those two quarterbacks. It seems like there's a ton of pressure. If it wasn't like if you went coaches, Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say not yet, but brewing, Wembanyama.
Oh, I like it.
Because Wembanyama is an alien.
He's different, yeah.
I was in the same room as him the day before he got drafted. He walked in a jumpsuit. He looked like a 7'6" floating head in that jumpsuit. he looked as if he was from a different planet. And remember, he's on the Spurs now. You got the Admiral. You got Tim Duncan. You got Manu Ginobili. You got Tony Parker. Like, obviously, Manu and Tony Parker aren't all-time greats, but look how many championships those Spurs players have won. They got a heck of a team in San Antonio. He's got to go find a way to win. You know what's funny? Two athletes that come to mind, but they both have rings.
Who's that?
Rodgers not winning another ring is going to be a disappointment.
Ooh, yeah.
Because people are going to say, you only won one ring and you only got to one Super Bowl. And you know who he feels like he has zero, even though he has two? Durant.
Yeah,
Kevin
he
Durant.
Lost. I think it's because he chased his. He didn't naturally.
And Barkley said a line that just crushed him. You are a bus rider, not a bus driver.
That's a good point.
Who was the other player that just slipped my mind? I was just going to talk about him. Not Ant-Man, maybe. Anthony Edwards.
I think it's still too early on Ant.
Yeah, no, that's fair, and I know he's.
No, I don't think he's going to win one in Minnesota. I think he's going to have to go somewhere to win one. But I think Giannis. Well, no, Giannis got one.
Giannis got one.
He got one.
Yeah. So, he's not going to win one. James Harden, though.
Yeah,
he's just been such a playoff bozo.
I think he's kind of his own worst enemy and his detriment. That's why I think people just kind of forget about him.
Yeah, and this year the East is kind of like the AFC, where if you look at it, like now he's got a shot with the Cavs, but you got the Pistons, you got the Celtics who now have Tatum back, the Knicks, like Brunson looking to go get one. You got the Cavs, the Raptors who have a good season. Banchero's really solid with the Magic, but I forgot one guy.
Who you got?
I forgot one guy. Now, this guy is not going to win a championship with the team that he's on currently. He's probably going to go somewhere else. Embiid.
Yeah.
But it seems as if that window has passed where we do these lists and just a lot of players aren't going to have him on there.
Yeah, I think he's kind of his window's closed.
Yeah, that's like, it's weird. For baseball, I think it's outside of Judge. Like, do you look at the pitchers? Like, I love Scuball and Skeens. They're both still newer.
They're still young.
So I don't think there's a ton of pressure on them. I think more of everyday positional players. Just like for football, I'm not going to give you a non-quarterback. No. I feel like we only care about if quarterbacks win championships. We don't care if some defensive back doesn't win one or if a wide receiver doesn't win one. Like, could I say Justin Jefferson? But one of the greatest wide receivers of all time is Randy Moss. Randy Moss doesn't have a ring. Terrell Owens doesn't have a ring. Andre Reed doesn't have a ring. So I think it's just more quarterback driven. So your honorable mention was Austin Matthews. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think I would definitely have to go with Austin Matthews, man. There's just so much talk around him, and
especially in Toronto.
Yes.
I don't know when Matthews' contract is up, but if I'm him,
I want out of there.
With how those dopey fans treated him after the Olympics, and I understand the political climate and all that stuff. I don't need to delve into that.
Yeah, but also, like, you got to have common sense and understand, like, he's repping for his country. He just happens to be the captain for your team.
And also, I don't know how much that is just like these dopey writers that are
I think that's exactly what it
and
is.
Things like that. But Matthews is is it coming up? Matthews signed a 4-year, $53 million contract with the Maple Leafs. He's a free agent in 2028.
Good for him, man.
Yeah. And you know what? I wonder after this year. So he's got 2 years left on the contract. I wonder after this year with how bad the Maple Leafs have been, if maybe he starts to ask out for a trade.
You might. I would definitely consider it.
Well, I thought last year, after what happened last year, there was a lot of buzz on McDavid.
Yeah.
Leaving. There was a lot of buzz on McDavid leaving.
Yeah.
And I thought that McDavid was going to leave, but then he ended up saying in Edmonton.
I don't think you can really justify getting rid of the best player though for Edmonton. Like I know you like cap space and all of that, but like if
he wants to be there. That's what it is. I agree with you. Edmonton is not looking to get rid of Connor McDavid, but if he goes to them and says, I got to go.
Then it is what it is.
Or I'm just going to let my next contract ride out. You can't afford to let the best player walk out and get absolutely nothing for him. But isn't it funny? You got McDavid and you got Austin Matthews, two great players.
Mm-hmm.
And at least McDavid, has been there.
Right.
But you look at Austin Matthews, like he's stuck on the Maple Leafs. Matthews, I think is more Josh Allen like. Now, Josh Allen is a better player than Austin Matthews is, but you're in a franchise that's just synonymous with coming up short.
Exactly. No, and the expectations too. Like, and you never meet. Yeah, they're very similar. It's very similar markets. Very funny that they're right across from each other too.
So I'll ask you this question then, and then we'll take a break because we're due for a break. Josh Allen, Connor McDavid, Aaron Judge, Lamar Jackson, Luka Doncic. Who is most likely to win the championship first?
I would say McDavid. You know what? I'm still going to stick with McDavid because
I don't know. They got back-to-back cup finals. They were in a game 7 2 years ago. The goalie play was better last year, and they still lost in 6.
I get that. I still think, though, if Draisaitl wasn't getting hurt, he would have a better shot this year. I trust McDavid to be in a situation, whether it's in Edmonton or somewhere else, to get the right pieces around him to win. Whereas, and also I think it's more difficult like in the NFL, right? Like for Josh Allen, he can't just do it by himself. He's got to have like a good defense and everything.
And it's one game.
Right. And McDavid it's like basketball, right? Like you could have one or two players and have a better chance of winning than in like football where you need more help. So I've given that's why I'm going to stick with McDavid.
I'm going to say this. Josh Allen will be 1. I'm going to say that he's the athlete in this group that wins a championship first. I would then say Judge is 2. I would then say Luka is 3. McDavid 4. Lamar 5.
Okay.
In terms of the order that I think that they could go win a championship. The Bills are knocking right on that door.
No.
And maybe their window's closed. Maybe it is. Judge plays for the Yankees. Eventually, the Yankees are going to win a championship. But who knows after this strike? That could potentially be happening. That's the other thing. Baseball's gaining ground, man. Remember when those folks at the NBA used to think, the NBA was coming for the NFL?
Mm-hmm.
I was Ariel Epstein, who I like. She was posting numbers for the World Baseball Classic that was better than NBA regular season games.
Well, to me, the product, me personally, like I used to love baseball. I loved baseball growing up. And then as I got older, the way those games were drawn out, like I just quit watching it. It made me hate it. But after they changed the rules, they added the pitch clock and all that, and they sped it up. I think it's made baseball better. And I think it's made people actually enjoy it and follow it more. Whereas the NBA, like, basketball to me just sucks in general right now. The way I feel like there's too many fouls, the pace, all of that.
Bitching
and I
at
feel like
the
the
officials, players, you show up.
It's a bad product, man.
Yeah.
So I feel like baseball has caught, and I feel like it's the rule changes that have helped the game get better.
Yeah, and I don't like praising that commissioner Rob Manfred, but
no, not at all. But I mean, I think
but the pitch. Give him credit. The pitch clock has helped out the game.
It has. It's sped it up. It's made it more engaging.
Big Friendly is in the YouTube chat. Zach Gelb is in here looking like a high school sociology teacher. Do I look like a high school sociology teacher today?
I'll give you community college.
Oh, okay.
We'll go community college.
If I'm leading the youth, we got problems here. Take a break. Zach Gelb Show, 365 Sports.
The 4-burner, side sear burner with Clearview glass stainless steel grill from Monument Grills. Made of tempered glass, which is strong, insulated, and allows you to check your grilling without lifting the lid. Our porcelain-coated cast iron cooking grids offer a large cooking surface of 513.3 square inches, primary cooking area, with even heat cooking. The Monument Grills include LED control knobs and are easy to light with pilotless electronic ignition. Better grilling, better value, Monument Grills.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
I'm Abby Dommett, 2023 CrossFit Games athlete, and I use Airwave because it helps me breathe easier and stay more relaxed during my workouts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Very discreet.
He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
One of my favorite things each and every year did come out today. So right during Masters Week, the Masters champion with all the ex-Masters champions that end up going to Augusta, they have a dinner. And the previous year's winner gets to make the Masters dinner menu. So Rory McIlroy, who did not choke and ended up winning his Masters to complete the career Grand Slam, he released his menu. And I have to give a lot of credit to Rory McIlroy. Here are the appetizers for Rory McIlroy. A peach and ricotta flatbread, bacon wrapped dates. I have never had a date, by the way, Garrett, until this past weekend. I had a date when I was at this restaurant called Kappa Steakhouse. It was a Michelin star restaurant. And one of my buddies ordered these dates. And I'm like, ugh, that's like, seems like a weird thing to order. Right? Like, oh, we're like 12 dudes, just keep on bringing out the food. Hand up. One of those times where you go, I don't know. Bacon wrap dates were phenomenal.
I couldn't have tried it. You're better than me. I would not have been able to bring.
Oh, no. Highly recommended.
Well, after you told me what it tasted like, I'm actually intrigued now.
I would say it kind of tastes like a pig in the blanket, even though it's not a pig in the blanket.
Right. What's the texture? That's my thing. What is the texture of this?
It tasted like a pig in the blanket.
So okay.
Yeah. Like a chewier pig in the blanket is what I would say.
I'd give it a shot.
Or just like if steak and bacon had a baby.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, like filet and bacon. That's just what it kind of tasted like. I could be. I was a few drinks in, so I may not remember it to the best of my abilities. Rock shrimp tempura, phenomenal. Grilled elk sliders. Oh, it's interesting. This is a pretty good appetizer list.
That is pretty good.
I would swap out the peach and ricotta flatbread. If you're telling me I need a flatbread or some kind of bread, I would do a spicy feta dip. I would do that with flatbread. I would keep the bacon wrapped dates. I think they're very good. The rock shrimp, I would keep. And then maybe I would just go with like regular burger sliders with some caramelized onions.
Okay.
Is what I would say there. I think those are pretty good. I don't look at that and say there's any appetizers that I vehemently oppose. Maybe add a shrimp cocktail. I do like shrimp cocktail a lot. Or if you want to do some, you could do oysters or baked clams. I do like baked clams a lot. The first course, yellowfin tuna carpaccio. Sounds good to me. First course, why don't you go with some pasta?
Could.
Or maybe like a tuna tartare. Could do that as well. If you give me from Frankie's 457 here in the city, and they do a cavatelli with sausage and a brown sage butter sauce, oh, one of the best pasta dishes I've ever had. When Mike Brown became the coach of the Knicks, I texted Mike Brown, and I said, you have to go get this pasta dish.
Right.
So that was one of my recommendations to the Knicks coach. The main course, Wagyu filet mignon or seared salmon. Now, here's the thing. I know now we live in a society we're going to be accepting of all food groups and people's dietary requests. If you don't have any of those restrictions or requests, and you say to me, you could have a Wagyu filet mignon or a seared salmon. I like salmon. I do. There's a steakhouse in the city right down in Financial District called Harry's. I love getting a salmon from there. It's delicious. But if that's a choice on it, like if I'm at a wedding and they go, you could have the Wagyu filet mignon or the seared salmon. How do you not get the filet mignon?
You got to. I'm not touching salmon, but I would definitely get the mignon.
You don't like fish?
Look, I'll eat cod and like haddock. That's about it when it comes to fish for me. But like shellfish, I love shellfish.
And then dessert, a sticky toffee pudding.
I've never heard of that, but it sounds interesting.
Vanilla ice cream and warm toffee sauce. I would imagine that it tastes probably good. I
don't see how that's a pudding though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like a pudding substance with ice cream and then like a sauce on top of it. But I don't know if I'd be mixing pudding and ice cream if I'm just being fully transparent.
Yeah.
There was we have a guy in the YouTube chat named Two-Tone Tony, right?
Yeah.
So Two-Tone Tony, this has nothing to do with actually him. It's just a close name. With the chef that we had in our bachelor party, his name was Chef Tony Tone.
Tony Tone.
Now, he made these wings that were delicious. But the shrimp that he had, I actually DM'd him. Let me pull it up. He made this shrimp over the weekend. It was some of the best shrimp I've ever had. Where is my main man, Tony Tone? The big chef. Where is he?
So what kind of shrimp are we talking here? Grilled?
It was shrimp on a stick.
Okay, a little seared.
It was definitely, yeah, seared, grilled, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
I was DMing this guy. I can't find it now. Hold on. I got to because he messaged me back. I had to ask him what the sauce was. So it was citrus, cilantro, parsley, and Old Bay.
I'm not a big Old Bay person, but I could do that. I can get with that.
It was delicious. He had mac and cheese. He had steaks. He had wings and shrimp. Oh, delicious. Absolutely delicious. So that's a good master's menu by Rory McIlroy. Yeah. I would not think Rory McIlroy is a big food guy, but I was pleasantly surprised. If you're doing a master's menu and you could pick one appetizer, what would your appetizer be? Just one appetizer.
Oh, like if my own app? Oh.
Yeah.
I would probably do wings as an appetizer, honestly.
Ooh, wings as an appetizer. That's good.
I love wings.
All right. So we're going to do a combined one here.
Okay.
You go wings.
Yep.
I'm going to say fried calamar.
Okay. Pairs well.
All righty. First course.
Oh, I want Alaskan snow crab legs in an abundance. Yes.
I'm going to go with that cavatelli sausage, brown sage, butter pasta.
Okay.
Main course.
I would probably do.
I feel like you're a tomahawk guy.
Dude, I swear to God, I was going to say tomahawk. I swear to
All right,
God,
let's
I was
surf
gonna say
and turf
tomahawk.
then. Let's surf and
Let's
turf.
do it.
I'll throw a lobster in there.
Okay.
Nice butter poached lobster tail. What's your
Let's
dessert?
do it. I'll probably go.
I feel like you're a cookie skillet guy.
No, I was gonna go bread pudding, no raisins.
Oh.
Yes. Or actually,
They put
I
raisins in
had-
bread pudding?
people do it like in Louisiana and stuff. I hate it, but I had.
By the way, Chef Tony, whatever his name is, he made a bread pudding. Oh, it was good.
Dude,
That was the dessert. I forgot the dessert.
I had king cake cheesecake from R&O's in Louisiana, in New Orleans or Metairie a couple of years ago. Me and Paul did. That was the best cheesecake I've ever had in my life.
I make a cake for Thanksgiving. And what I do is it's an icebox cake. So you get these chocolate wafers, you do homemade whipped cream, you put it in you put it all together, you stack them up, and then you put them in the fridge for 4 days. So that would be my dessert.
That sounds pretty legit.
We got Zach Berman here, right?
I believe
I
we
think
do.
he
Yep,
just,
we got it. I'll
joined.
jump out and I'm going to get him on.
All righty, let's continue with our off-season coverage right now. It is the Zach Gelb Show right here on 365 Sports. And now joining us from The Athletic, covers the Eagles and the entirety of the NFL. And I think he's got like 3 or 4 books now, is the great Zach Berman. Zach, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. How many books are you an author of now?
3 books. Underdogs, the franchise Philadelphia Eagles, and the most recent one is Leap Year, which is about the Super Bowl season in 2024.
All righty, looking at the current state of the Eagles, let me start with the coaching staff. Is there pressure on Nick Sirianni this year? Like, the guy, all he does is been to the playoffs. He's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He's won a championship, but I remember being in Philadelphia where Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl, made the playoffs a few times, and missed it 1 year, and he was out of a job.
You hit it on the head, Zach. There's always pressure in Philly. I think it's pronounced this year in the sense that if this team regresses, then I think that's where you're going to look, considering the fact that they made more coaching changes this offseason, obviously bringing in a first-year offensive coordinator. But, yeah, Nick Sirianni's resume on paper in 5 seasons, 5 playoff appearances, 4 double-digit win seasons, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl ring. It's hard to argue with that. It's unprecedented in recent NFL history. But Jeffrey Lurie always talks, and that's the owner of the Eagles, always talks about it's not what have you done, it's like what are you going to do? And so they need to avoid regression. But I think as long as they play to the level expected of them, Nick Sirianni's the coach.
You know, it's funny when hires are made. Oftentimes when there's a negative reaction, the coach ends up doing well. Like Sirianni wasn't a popular hire, ended up winning a Super Bowl. Doug Peterson, I remember early on in his tenure, and I love Doug. People were calling him like the village idiot. He ended up winning the franchise their first ever Super Bowl. When Sean Mannion was announced as the offensive coordinator, when they missed out on McDaniel, they missed out on Brian Daboll, what was the reaction in Philly, and how were kind of Eagles fans reacting to that hire?
Well, there's a lot of unknown. And I think the expectation, and it was a fair expectation, it was actually Nick Sirianni's expectation too, was that they were going to get someone with established play calling experience. When you consider the 2 OCs who they've moved on from, both had lack of play calling experience, right? And so the fact that they went with someone who's only been a coach for 2 years, who has not called plays, that was surprising. And I think in Philly, there's always some degree of skepticism, but it's trying to understand who he is. And it's premature at this point to really know. So it's a little different than hiring a Mike McDaniel or a Brian Daboll, who you know what you're going to get. There's obviously unknown with Sean Mannion. The Eagles are gambling on that upside. But in Philly, I think that unknown is kind of what drives the conversation at this point.
You know, it's kind of crazy the last 3 years. They had that great start 3 years ago, 10-1, then they won 1 game down the stretch. Then the following year, they bounced back, they win the Super Bowl. And then this year, it felt like what it was 3 years ago, where you just knew this team, they had all the talent, but you knew that they were just missing something. They didn't have it, and something seemed off. When you look back at last season, now you've had some time to digest it. What went wrong with the Eagles last year?
Yeah, I think offensively, they were just a shell of what they needed to be. And obviously the offensive line was an issue in terms of the run game. They did not have the same level of performance from the O-line as in previous seasons. So this is a team that's kind of been built around the run, obviously when they won the Super Bowl. And they struggled with that early on. And the passing game, which needs to be better, was not as good as it should be or as it needs to be. And frankly, when you have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert, there's an expectation that you should be in the top half, the top 10 in the league in passing, and not where the Eagles were. And especially overall as an offense, being in the bottom half of the league for the most expensive offense in the NFL, that's unacceptable, frankly. And so I think that's what seemed off, is they can never maintain that offensive rhythm. There were too many 3 and outs. They were really good in the red zone, and they had these spurts, but they cannot be consistent enough in terms of sustaining drives. And I think that's ultimately what did them in.
You know, in this time of the year, everyone does lists. And this time last year, coming off winning a Super Bowl, being a Super Bowl MVP, people would put Jalen Hurts in that top 5 conversation. After this past season, I'm going to assume, and you know what happens when you assume, but I think it's a fair assumption here, he's going to be falling down that list a bit. What do you think is an accurate depiction right now of the Eagles quarterback?
It's a big question in Philly, as you can imagine. And the way I see it might be different than the way people in Philly see it. But to me, you're looking for quarterbacks who you can win the Super Bowl with. And you can win a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. He's been the end Super Bowl MVP. He was, frankly, he was on pace to be the Super Bowl MVP in his first Super Bowl when they lost to the Chiefs. And how many quarterbacks in this league do you talk about making 2 Super Bowls in 5 years and being perhaps the best player on the field or the best quarterback on the field in both those games? And so you kind of start there. Now, he needs to be more consistent as a passer, and I think that jumps out. He also needs to run more. It's part of what makes him special. But I think when you view Jalen Hurts, the fact that he's in the winner's circle as often as he is, the clutch performances, that cannot be overstated. Like that is such a big part of who he is. And so I think that I look at it, there's a clear top 4 in terms of Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. You probably put Stafford in there too, right? So top 5. Beyond that, it's really it's quite subjective. And Jalen Hurts' resume in that beyond those players is hard to argue when you consider how much he's won, and his talent is sometimes the talent around him sometimes held against him. I don't think that's fair.
When the Eagles get ready for their first game this season, and you're in week 1 in September, will AJ Brown be on this roster?
I don't expect that to be the case. I think it's going to be hard to put toothpaste back in the tube, so to speak. And look, you never say never. When we had a conversation last year at this time, I wouldn't have expected Dallas Goedert to be on the team in 2025, much less 2026. So these things can always evolve. But no, I'm anticipating AJ Brown to be moved. Obviously, there's real smoke there in terms of the conversations during the past few weeks. It's gotten pretty close to this point, and I just think in terms of timing, I don't want to be the boy who cried wolf. And I think it's probably more likely that it'll be a post June 1st trade when you consider the salary cap implications than now. But I think he's going to be traded.
Do you think a 1 and a 3 ultimately gets it done? Like, let's say if New England is the team and it's post June 1, so it'd be a 2027 1, and then whether you want the 3 in 2027 or 2028, it doesn't matter to me. But is that what you kind of think the deal will be?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a sensible one, and I actually think a 27 pick would be more attractive to the Eagles right now than a 26 pick. When first off, you look at the Patriots, the 26 pick is 31 in the first round. Chances are it's higher in 27. And Howie Roseman's best trades, if you just look at his history, have been when he's valued future picks. And so I could see certainly the Eagles trying to value a 27 pick, especially with kind of the roster in transition and the volume of draft picks that they have this year. But they would need to figure out how to improve their wide receiver room this year. But ultimately, to answer your question succinctly, if it's a 1 and a 3, I think that's value. The Eagles would be, it would be hard for them to turn around from that value.
Does the DJ Moore trade, or does yesterday, I guess because it's more recent, Jalen Waddle, does that at all give Howie Roseman more leverage?
Well, in terms of compensation, I think sure. I mean, I think when you see what Jalen Waddle went for, and really it's the equivalent of a pick in the mid-20s when you consider the other pick exchanges. I know Waddle's younger. AJ Brown's more productive, and AJ Brown's not old by any means. You don't have to worry about AJ Brown's contract, I imagine. So, yeah, I mean, I think that shows the values of first round. Ultimately, you're worth what someone's willing to pay for you. I suppose the downside to it would be it takes a team that needs a wide receiver off the market. But from the start, I think you can agree to this, Zach, is that the Patriots seem like the most likely target, the most sensible target, and I think that at some point these two sides can work out a deal.
The other thing too, and there's always some uncertainty with AJ Brown. I think the guy's a good player. Sometimes I do think that he's misportrayed, but like you're there every day.
Yeah.
But I've been there for instances, the Giant playoff game where he wasn't happy, then the whole book situation on the sideline, which I remember during the playoffs, and that was, I don't think a good look for him. And then this year, it just seemed like an absolute mess. Is it a him and an AJ issue? Is it more him and play calling? Is it just that he wants to go to New England? Like, if you had to say the root of the AJ Brown problem, what is it?
Yeah, well, first off, I think AJ's a great player, an elite player. Like, I don't think he's good. I think he's elite, and I think that's kind of what shouldn't be lost in this conversation. Is just he changes. He can change the game. As far as what the root of the issue is, I think it comes down to this, and I can't speak for AJ, obviously. But AJ Brown's been on record saying he wants to be the best receiver in the NFL. And I don't think that AJ believes that can be facilitated here in Philly with the way this offense is run and with the personnel around them. That probably includes the quarterback, right? But I look at it in this way. There's a thought that the Eagles need to be, whether it's a run heavy team or a certain way that like they need to play. And I think AJ's been he's been on record saying that the Super Bowl was not as fulfilling as he wanted to be. And now he wants to put his mark on being the best player or the best in the league. And he's been pretty close to that here in Philly, especially in 22 and 23, but it didn't look that way often in 24 and 25. And so I can understand if that's kind of a driving force in this conversation. Again, I can't speak for AJ, but I would imagine just based on kind of what he said and what you've heard, that would be the impetus to this.
It's funny because the Eagles have been so successful, and when you're a good team, it's just bound to happen. You're going to lose some players. And one of my buddies texted me the other day, he's a big Eagles fan. He's like, what's going on with the team? This offseason is miserable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what upsets you? He's like, well, they lost Reed Blankenship. They lost the Kobe Dean. All right, I got the Kobe Dean, I think, is a very good player. Reed Blankenship, a fan favorite, solid player. You're bound to lose some guys.
Yeah.
What kind of stands out to you with some of the players they lost this offseason, and who maybe will they miss the most?
Yeah, so honestly, I don't think there's really been anything this offseason that surprised me. If anything, what surprised me is Dallas Goedert coming back. Howie Roseman really prepared fans for this. He was saying they're going to lose players, right? And the Nakobe Dean situation is similar to Milton Williams last year, where the Eagles drafted Jahad Campbell in the first round. They didn't draft him to sit on ice for the first 2 years of his career. So there was a succession plan in place. I think that fans might look at Reed Blankenship leaving in the contract that he got and said the Eagles could have been competitive there. But I think if you just look at the way Howie Roseman's constructed this roster, that's not, he hasn't really paid players in that like $8 to $15 million range for the most part, and especially on these multi-year deals. And so I would imagine that's a spot where they could kind of look for some savings. The most impactful, or I think the biggest move is that they wanted Jalen Phillips. They weren't able to keep Jalen Phillips. We know what Jalen Phillips made. I think that was just too high for the Eagles.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but I think that those were waters they were willing to swim near there. But that's a big loss. They traded a third-round pick for him. He was such a good player on the defense, pivoting and getting Rick Wallen on a deal that probably they didn't expect when Rick Wallen entered the market. It makes sense in that now you have your three cornerbacks solidified. You have the argument for being, probably the best cornerback trio in the NFL with Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and now Rick Wallen. In Rick Wallen's case, it's a 1-year deal. If he plays the way that the Eagles probably think he can play next year, he can cash in on the market. But really, the fact that they're kind of in this holding pattern with AJ Brown, is a big part of this offseason. Losing Jalen Phillips is something that fans can be frustrated about. But beyond that, like, I don't think there's any move here where I said the Eagles should have done X or should have done Y. I did not think Goddard was going to be back.
Yeah.
I thought Goddard, though, was going to make more money than he ultimately made on the market.
Yeah, and I'll also say this, and I'm just reading this now. I don't know if it's true, but I'm watching a video. Sometimes you get duped on Twitter. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick, Andrew Whitworth interviewing Lane Johnson. And the headline says, Lane Johnson and saying he expects Jeff Stoutland to remain with the Eagles in some capacity. I was actually going to say the biggest loss of the offseason was Jeff Stoutland. Have you heard anything on Stoutland's future? Because he's no longer, the offensive line coach, right, and run game coordinator.
Yeah, he's not employed by he's not the offensive line coach anymore. And so, I think Jeff Stoutland's going to be living in the area this offseason. This season. I think the Eagles probably want him to be around to help when he can, but no, my understanding is there's no formal role for Jeff Stoutland this year. And I don't want to call it a gap year. I can't speak for him, but I haven't watched that from Lane yet, but I would imagine it's more of a resource for some of those guys who Stout has been with Lane for 13 years, right? He's been with Jordan Mailata since 2018, Landon Dickerson since 2020. You go on down the list, right? And so I think that it's probably being more of a resource or sounding board for those guys than it's like a formal role in the organization.
I want to, when I take a look at the division, and then we'll let you run. Zach Berman does a great job with The Athletic. Who's the team in the division that maybe you're looking at right now and you're saying they could be the biggest challenger to the Eagles this year?
No, definitely the Cowboys, without a doubt. And I say that because they have the quarterback, right? I mean, Dak Prescott, say what you want about him. He's proven he can be a high-level quarterback. They have a terrific wide receiver combination. I think they've made some good moves on defense. I really like their defensive coordinator, Christian Parker, who came from Philly. And they were a tough team last year, right? And so I think the Cowboys. I know the Giants have made some positive moves, and certainly getting Harbaugh gives them a lot of gravitas. And, I think the Commanders had a better offseason this year than last year, but I still think the Cowboys are the biggest threat for the Eagles in the NFC East.
One last thing. What could you tell us on the latest with Jalen Carter? Because I feel like whenever I go on social media, there's a rumor that he's going to get traded, and then it's, oh, no, don't expect that. What is the latest on him?
Yeah, I think Jalen Carter's next contract will make him the highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL, right? And so it's a question of who's going to pay him that, and I think that the Eagles would love to do that in terms of, or I would imagine the Eagles would, and it's just can you agree on what that number is? And the Eagles have been aggressive re-signing their core players, and the fact that he has the 5th-year option in 27, really he's under contract for 2 more years. When you include that, the Eagles have used that as a tool in contract extensions, but ultimately it comes down to finding the right number for the player. And I think that speculation's there because the Eagles obviously gave Jordan Davis a contract extension. Moro Ojimo is a really good player. They're going to have to give new deals to Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean and J.Alex Hunt and maybe Nolan Smith, and you go on down the list. Like, they can't keep everyone. And so if you're talking about a player in the $35 million range, whatever it may be, that takes up a lot of space. But ultimately, I think the Eagles, when they have blue chip players, they work to keep them. And I would imagine that Jalen Carter's a guy that they want to keep.
Make sure you get his books. Make sure you check him out on The Athletic. Zach Berman does a great job covering the Eagles in the NFL. And also, little tidbit, good father. Kids was at the shore last summer, had a lemonade stand, saw Zach, got the lemonade. Your kids may be on to something. It was a refreshing glass of lemonade.
I appreciate it, trying to teach them some entrepreneurship early on. So thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You got it. There he is, Zach Berman, joining us right here. It is the Zach Gelb Show on 365 Sports. Garrett Ross, let me bring you back into the conversation because you're a fan of the Commanders.
I am.
Okay. A.J. Brown not in the Eagles next year. You got Jalen Hurts. You got Saquon Barkley. You got Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Marquise Hollywood Brown. How do you view the Eagles?
Damn good. Probably going to win the division.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take that they're going to win the division. But if they just win the division, it's not going to be enough in Philly.
No, I think right now they position themselves really going back to Doug Peterson in that run you better make a deep run in the playoffs, and honestly, you better be in the Super Bowl every 2 to 3 years. That's how I feel the organization has set itself up right now. So yeah, you should win the division, but you need to make a run, and you need to try to find your way into Los Angeles in that Super Bowl this year.
All right, let's do this. Just in the NFC.
Okay.
Would you rather, for this upcoming season, with how it's constructed right now, and
Okay.
let's operate under the assumption that A.J. Brown's not going to be there.
Right.
I'm going to trust Zach Berman. Would you rather be the Eagles or the Rams?
I'd probably rather be the Rams.
I agree. Would you rather be the Eagles or the Seahawks?
Eagles.
I would agree too, especially with the pieces that the Seahawks lost.
Yeah.
And also, the Seahawks just won the Super Bowl. It's
Right.
so tough to repeat.
Yeah.
Besides the fact when the Chiefs did it, we didn't have a repeat champion since the 2003-2004 Patriots. Niners or Eagles?
Oh, that's tough. Man. I'm going Eagles because I'm going Eagles. I'll go Eagles. But
I'm
that's
going Eagles
grasping
too.
at straws.
I'm going Eagles too, and I know the Niners just beat the Eagles in the playoffs, but the wide receiver position, you get
Right.
Mike Evans, good. Kittle, we don't know his status coming off the injury and how effective he's going to be. And the Trent Williams contract situation does concern me a bit. No one in the NFC South you're going to take over the Eagles.
No.
Bears or Eagles?
I'm taking the Eagles. The Bears have to prove it.
Ooh.
I mean, dude, look, they're good, but like we've
Bears
seen
beat
it
the Eagles
once.
last year.
I know, but we've seen it once. We've seen them have literally like one good season. I need to see more.
I tend to agree with you. I was just trying to see if I get you cave. Eagles or Packers?
Eagles. I don't trust the Packers right now.
Yep. Eagles or Lions?
Ooh. I'm still going Eagles.
I
But-
agree.
That's one where I feel that's similar to what we did with the 49ers and the Eagles.
Eagles or Vikings?
Eagles.
Eagles or Cowboys?
I'm going to stay Eagles because you've done it until Dallas actually shows me that they can legitimately compete for a championship. I can't trust them.
I think the Cowboys are going to be alive to win the NFC East.
Oh,
but
they're
I
going
would,
to be damn good this year.
I would still give the edge to the Eagles. So we just basically went through the entirety of the NFC. And only one team is in
Right.
front of the Eagles, the Rams.
Yep.
I don't think you're nuts for that. Okay. In the AFC, is there an AFC team on paper that you'd rather have than the Eagles? Patriots or Eagles?
I'm still taking the Eagles. I need to see. I need to make sure that wasn't a one-off.
If the Patriots have A.J. Brown, does it change it for you?
I still need to see Drake May do it again.
Fair. Bills or Eagles?
Eagles, same. The Bills. I mean, you gotta win something.
Is there anyone in the AFC North right now? Like the Ravens now with Trey?
No, not right now. Not
The
right now.
AFC South, the Jaguars, the Texans, no,
No.
right? Colts, no.
No,
Broncos or Eagles?
I'm still taking the Eagles. I know. I know.
I'm going to go Broncos.
That's fair.
I
fair.
think the Eagles have more playmakers. The Broncos defense is really damn good.
Yes.
There's maybe something to watch there with Sean and Bo, but now they get Waddle. You got Sutton. I know you don't got Saquon Barkley. You play in a tougher division.
Yeah, but I also feel like their path to the Super Bowl is a little more difficult being in the AFC.
The Broncos?
Yes.
I think it's easier.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, there's no clear-cut team in the AFC, in my opinion.
I don't think there's a clear-cut team in either league, but
I would say the Rams in the NFC conference right now. Chargers or Eagles?
I'm taking the Eagles still.
Chiefs or Eagles?
Oh man.
You got to go.
I'm going the Eagles. Look, Mahomes is the best quarterback, but they've aged. I don't trust where they're at right now. Is the enemy really going to come in and save the day? It could bite me, but I'm still going to ride with Philly.
I actually think you're going to be stunned by my AFC pecking order.
Okay.
Like if we just do the Eagle, like we just did the Eagles and the NFC and all that. If I just did just the AFC teams, I'll give you 7.
Okay.
The top 7. So
Let's go.
I just want to make sure. Yep, I got the East, got the North, got the West, got the South. I put one AFC South team in there. And at number 7, the Houston Texans. I love their defense.
Yes.
With Stingley, you got Hunter, and you got Will Anderson. Will Anderson is one of my favorite players in football. The offense, I love me some Nico Collins. C.J. Stroud, after that great first year, I know he's won a playoff game each and every year. He's been regressing. And they changed the coordinator, and I didn't see much of a change this year. But I put the Texans in at 7 because of that defense. In at number 6, I'm going Kansas City. I am concerned about Kansas City for this year. This is just going for this year. Mahomes coming off the injury. Kelsey another year older. Rashee Rice, who the heck knows what's going on with him. Defensively, you just lost Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson.
Yep.
I got legitimate concerns about the Chiefs. But because they have Mahomes, because they have Reed, I could still trust them more than a Texans team who was better than them last year. But because of Mahomes, there is that Mahomes factor. I put them 6. In at number 5, you get both your tackles back. You have a better play caller. I know Herbert is a good regular season quarterback, and the postseason's been a disaster. Khalil Mack now back with that franchise. You got Derwin James. I'm going to put the Chargers in at 5. In at 4, they tried for Max Crosby. Then they got cold feet, and they ended up bringing in Trey Hendrickson. Lamar, you figure he is healthy this year.
Yep.
You do have Zay Flowers. You got Derrick Henry. Hold on to the football. Can they get another piece for that offense in the wide receiver? Like, Mike Evans would have been perfect for them.
Oh, he would have.
If I'm Mike Evans, I can't crush you for going to San Francisco. You got a chance to go be a contender there. But Mike Evans should have signed with the Baltimore Ravens, or the Ravens should have made him an offer he couldn't refuse. Could you imagine if you would have lined up Zay Flowers, Mike Evans, Lamar Jackson, and Derrick Henry in an open AFC? How do you defend those guys on the goal line?
I don't think you can.
Evans is a machine. Henry's a wrecking ball. And Lamar, you have no clue where the ball is going. And as long as Zay Flowers just holds on to the football, he's a pretty damn good football player too.
Do you have any reservations at all about Jesse Minter being his first year? Like I said,
No.
does that come into factor at all? None?
Is there some uncertainty? Sure. But I think he's ready to get a head coaching job.
Okay.
They should win that division this year. I know you could say maybe the Steelers will win it. I'm not trusting the Bengals. I'm not trusting the Browns.
Right. No.
But, is there always someone unknown? Yeah. Am I going to sit there and think I am, shaking over the fact that Jesse Minter's their head football coach? No. In at number 3, the Patriots. If the Patriots get A.J. Brown, they'll be moving up this list. But until they get A.J. Brown, their wide receiving room is Kyle Williams, Kayshon Boutte, or I think they may say Boutte. I don't know how to say it.
Boutte.
Is it?
Boutte, yeah.
Well, I call him Boutte.
Well, yeah.
And then they just got Romeo Doubs. Got Hunter Henry at the tight end position. Henderson's got to take that next step at the running back. I like Ramondre Stevenson. Now he's starting to hang over the football. The defense is really good. But I need another weapon on that offense. 2, the Bills. Yeah. I know the Bills' defense isn't as strong as the Patriots. You go out there, if Bradley Chubb's healthy, you signed him, and he's a good football player when healthy. But you get DJ Moore for Josh Allen. You got James Cook also in that backfield. It's going to be a good offense this year in Buffalo. And in number 1, I think the number 1 team entering the 2026 season right now on the 18th day of March in the year of 2026 in just the AFC, it's the Denver Broncos. Lights out defense, good quarterback. You got a nice 1-2 punch at wide receiver now with Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton. And it's that defense for me with Allen and Benito and Surtain. It is a heck of a defense. So going into this year in the AFC, Texans 7, Chiefs 6, Chargers 5, Ravens 4, Patriots 3, Bills 2, Broncos 1. Can I tell you who I feel bad I left off the list?
Absolutely.
It's the Jaguars.
I get that, but
they were a 13-win team last year.
I know, but
I have trust issues with them.
I think they're going to fall back. I think they're going to be one of those teams that regress this season.
Yeah, like when I did it, I sat there and I go, the Jaguars doubled the win total and one extra than what the Chiefs had last year. So they more than doubled the win total, but I'm not a believer in Trevor Lawrence. And they lost Travis Etienne, who, do you see how you pronounce his name now?
No. Oh, did he change it?
No. He claimed at his introductory press conference with the Saints, in college, no one pronounced his name right, and he just said, yeah, it's ATN. It's Achan. Travis Achan.
Yeah, why would you not say something about that years ago?
I don't know if you'll remember this player. He went to Temple. He's a linebacker. He ended up winning the Nagurski Award and the Bednarik Award. Do you remember the name Tyler Medikevich?
Not really. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay, that's fine. I thought you guys.
I'm not up on my football.
I thought you guys down south are college football aficionados. Some guy in the Northeast. Oh, geez. Well, Dirty Red.
I didn't even know about Matt Rule.
Tyler Medikevich had like 500 tackles in 4 years of college. It was like nuts. And he won the Bednarik Award and Nagurski Award at freaking Temple. I think he was a finalist maybe with, was it Scooby Wright? I forget who. Anyway, he won the award. He got drafted by the Steelers, was special teams player for the Steelers for a bunch of years, then wrapped up his career he went to Buffalo and he went back to the Steelers for 1 year. He's now, he's 10 years in the league and now he's out of the league. I know he wants to play, but the first 2 years, it was on the pronunciation guide, Tyler Medikevich, like K.
Right.
So the first 2 years I'm calling the games, Tyler Medikevich, Kavich. And then going into his junior year, the SID, Rich Berg, came up to me and goes, we figured out we've been writing Tyler's name wrong. Oh, no. It's Medikevich. And it was his senior season, I believe. Temple had college game day on campus. And Notre Dame, it was Temple Notre Dame. So you had Reese Davis, you had Herb Street, you had Corso, right? You had all the guys there. I toured around Chris Fowler because he was doing the game at night. Fowler was on campus, and I texted him. Never had a conversation with him. I'm like, hey, I do a show on the student radio station. We'd love to get you on. He goes, well, I'm actually on campus right now. Would love a tour, and then I'll sit down and do 25 minutes with you.
That's pretty bad.
So I was Chris Fowler's tour guide at Temple University. I don't know. Nice. He just hit up Nagandi, ESPN guy who's a Temple legend. But I went to the Friday before game day. They have all the guys at the site. They do a little media availability. And Reese Davis was asking the athletic director, the sports information director. Mm-hmm. But since it was game day, they had the senior guy there, not the guy that's usually there all the time for football because, I'm sure, that guy's like, oh, this is a cool moment. I got to go there.
I got to be there. I got to be there for that one.
So they go, how do we pronounce the linebacker's name? And Larry Dock, who I love, he's one of the SADs. He goes, Zach, come here. Meet Reese Davis. Reese, Zach Gelb, one of our student broadcasters. Tyler's pronunciation. Go ahead. I go, it's a funny story. I go, first 2 years it was Medikevich. Now it's Medikevich. So that's how we ended up coming to fruition. I was not expecting a Tyler Medikevich rant here. But yeah, Travis Etienne, the clip I saw was Travis Achan, which doesn't that Devon Achan, who was younger than him, and the Dolphins I saw Schefter put out there today, they're claiming they're not trading him right now. That means that they don't like what they're getting right now in the offers, and you're going to have to pony up in terms of the draft picks. But that's weird to me that there's a Devon Achan, and that's spelled, I think it's A-C-H-A-N.
It actually looks like it, yeah.
Travis Achan?
I don't even see, it doesn't even look remotely
like if you said H-E-N, maybe? But Achan?
To me, I don't know. You should have said something when you were at Clemson instead of waiting until now.
Yeah, I don't know. You're thrown into the spotlight. Maybe he's a nervous kid. We forget that these are kids at the end of the day. But yeah, if someone if you were calling me Zach Glenn,
it was him and his brother. So neither one of them said anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't care.
I don't know.
But hold on. I'm gonna send you this clip. Let's play it for the listening audience. I just want to make sure that I'm doing justice by it. And I'm actually getting it right. I'm going to text this to you right now. Let's do this. It is a Zach Gelb show right here on 365 Sports. We'll play you that clip on the other side. We will also get into some of Max Crosby's comments and comment about that. After watching this interview that Crosby did, and it's on his podcast, I'm more convinced than ever that Eric DeCosta just got cold feet. And he said, screw the deal. I want my picks back. We'll use the injury as the excuse, and we could go out there, the Ravens, and go sign Trey Hendrickson and just give money instead of having to give up draft picks. It is the Zach Gelb Show right here on 365 Sports.
You have a second?
Yeah, come on in.
Thanks. I'm having an issue with Ralph.
With Ralph?
He keeps stealing my lunch.
He's just researching new flavors.
That is slow smoked turkey.
Ralph steals my lunch all the time. You get used to it.
He also peed on my bag.
He is warming up to you. You know, starting a new job, it's a big change. I want you to think about how you can be more accommodating to Ralph. We're all co-owners here.
If I'm only wearing one suit this summer, it has to be Tuileries Performance Linen. It's wrinkle resistant, machine washable, and built with stretch and breathability that actually moves with you. It'll keep you cool, sharp, and stress-free at your next event.
What does being different mean to me? You know, that is an interesting question.
Because there really isn't one way. There's a bunch of different ways you could do it.
But love is passion. Someone you can't live without.
What do you want? You know, what's that really good non-alcoholic beer I keep hearing about?
Do you have that really great non-alcoholic beer that I keep seeing?
You mean athletic? You're looking at it.
It's athletic. Ask for it.
He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
All righty, welcome back in. It is the Zach Gelb Show right here on 365 Sports. Garrett, do we have that clip of Travis Achan?
Yes, we do.
See, that's going to be now difficult. I got to remember to say that properly. Do you remember the whole like 2-month, 3-month thing of Bijan Robinson?
Not really. I don't really remember that one.
He claimed that his name was Bijan instead of Bijan.
Oh, okay.
So I had him on October last football season, and I'm like, "What's the deal with the name?" I thought it was Bijan Robinson. Now it's Bijan. He goes, "No. Go back to saying it Bijan." And I'm like, "What?" So I'm so confused with that one. But this is Travis Achan, who we thought was the artist formerly known as Travis Etienne. Go ahead.
Growing up, it's Travis Achan, so it'd be like Achane, and that's how you always said Travis Achan. But when I went to college, I kept telling them my name like every day, and like after like 4 weeks, they just couldn't get it. So I'm like, man, it's Etienne. Like how you see it is how you say it. So that's how that became, and it kind of took off because it was easy for the pronouncers to say it. I didn't have to just tell them. I didn't have to correct them every day to say my name. And just when I kind of just started learning more about my last name and how it came about and things like that, it just kind of stuck and made sense. But I'm very much open to being Travis Achan again, just being myself. I don't have to correct people here on how to say my name each and every day. And I kind of love that. And that's just get back to me.
So his family's from Louisiana, Garrett. Is that common down there?
I mean,
ATN to be Achan? It's spelled Etienne.
I personally don't know. Like I know they do some pronunciations and some names that don't look like that.
I'm here, Travis Achan.
Yeah, like
Coach O here. I'll get your name right.
To me, like I don't see how I don't know. I just looking
That's because
at
no one
that,
can
I
understand
could
what I'm
not-
going to say, Garrett. But I could mess up anybody's name. So I thought your name was Travis Etienne. But I'm Coach O. I say Travis Etienne. Clemson, they'll mess you up over there. All right, you got to come over to LSU. Go Tigers.
Recruiting pool. Yeah.
That's bizarre.
It is. It just doesn't look anything like.
No, I'm reading it. Etienne. How is that Achan?
I don't know. That's what throws me off. It's like it doesn't even resemble anything like it.
Like if I was to say that Travis Etienne's name is wrong, like how else would you, like Etienne? Seriously,
I don't know.
Oh my God, Travis Etienne. Do you think that will stick? Do you think people will get that right?
No. I think he's trying. He's making a good effort, but I don't think it's going to stick.
All righty, let's get to Max Crosby. This is about 4 minutes long. This is on his podcast. I went into this podcast thinking to myself, if you put a gun to my head, did the Ravens general manager Eric DeCosta get cold feet? I thought so. After watching it, I believe it even more so that the Ravens general manager got cold feet. See if you have the same thought. Here's about 4 minutes of Max Crosby talking about how it all did go down with the Ravens.
Have my MRIs. I was asking Joe, can I, before I left, I wanted to see the head coach and just chop it up, talk football, talk ball. He's a defensive guy. Never met him before like that, so I wanted to chop it up. So I didn't get to meet with him till the end of the day. I didn't get to see the GM at all. I thought I was going to see him when I first got there. I didn't see him for 5 hours.
So he didn't come out the whole time you're testing or doing your physical. Everyone's talking about the GM never came once out to see you.
And I don't know why. I'm not going to speculate.
Wild.
I didn't see him one time. I even asked the girl. I was like, "Where's Eric at?" I want to say, you know what I mean? He just made the trade. I didn't see him for 5 hours. So I go and do my thing. At the end, they're like, "Yeah, I'll take you up." Joe was like, "I'll take you up and you go see the head coach, whatever, just before you leave." I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "That's what I want to say what's up to him." So I went back up and I dap him up, and they could just tell the energy was a little bit off. And the GM was standing in the hall, in the room next to me to the right. And that was the first time I seen him. And, I'm just in my head, this is a whirlwind. I'm so excited, fired up. You know what I mean? This is a new opportunity, whatever. And you could just tell the energy was off. I dapped him up. He had a blank face. And I'm like, okay, I'm not thinking anything of it. Maybe he's just different. I don't know. I don't know him, whatever. I go into the room. They sit me down on the couch. And he's like, man, I don't know how to say this, but, one of our doctors has concerns with the results and whatever, and with your knee, some of them have, are concerned about the future and da-da-da-da-da. And, we really want you and this is what it is, but, we're just going to have to get more and more opinions. And I was like, the first thought in my head, I was terrified because I'm thinking in my head, what the fuck? I just had, Neil Elitrosh, best fucking surgeon in the country, the best of the best. He's done all my surgeries for the most part. That's my guy. I go to his house. That's my dude. He's the best. So I haven't even got to talk to him, or I hadn't got to talk to CJ at that point. So it just kind of hit me. I'm like, what the fuck? Is there something wrong? I'm freaking out, low key, deep down. I'm like, I can't get another surgery. I can't, my time on this is fucked up. So I'm fucking what is going on, bro? And CJ had been calling me right before I went up. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, CJ, let me hit you when I get out of here. And I was looking for Rachel. I don't know where Rachel's at. She was upstairs with the girls and stuff, doing her own thing. They were.
He has no clue at this moment, what's going on.
Yeah, Rachel didn't know, but CJ sent a text in the group chat, and I'm like, damn. So anyway, fast forward. I want to take all day, but they tell me yeah, we're gonna get back to you. We're gonna get some more opinions and things. We obviously want you. This, and that. And I'm like, all right. Okay, so we'll see. So I don't know. So then I leave. I'm like, this is what the fuck? Yeah. I get back to the hotel, bro. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What does this mean? I'm calling whatever. Then I talk to Neil, and Neil calls me, and he called me way down. He's like, Max, don't listen to any of that shit. He's like, your knee is great. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, or even ahead of schedule. He's like, you're doing everything right. He's like, they know you had your surgery 9 weeks ago. It's obviously if you get an MRI, he's showing me literally like the actual literature of like this is where it needs supposed to be at from a meniscus repair. Like there can be MRIs that could be misleading because it's still fresh in surgery and this and this and that. He's like, listen, you're doing everything right. Everything's going well. We're going to keep sticking to the plan. He's like, you will be back by training camp. That has been the damn timeline since the beginning. That hasn't changed. You know, your stuff, you know, obviously everyone's mentioned a bunch of different things. All these doctors are mentioning different.
And that's what was communicated out of your camp too, correctly? Like during this
100%.
whole time.
100%. So that's the thing. I'm like, okay. So now I'm like kind of calmed down, but at the same time, I'm like, well, what the?
I think it's so clear after watching that clip. Number one, Max Crosby loves to use the F word a lot. But number two, the Ravens knew that day walking into that building, when he walked into that building, that they were pulling out of the deal. Like, Garrett, 5 hours the GM is hiding.
Yeah, that's
ridiculous. This is a huge acquisition. You don't meet him right at the entrance, or the moment you find out he's in the building, you don't walk in. It means the general manager was a putty cat. Yeah. He was an absolute putty cat. He was hiding in the office, like when Ari Gold comes in with the paintball gun. He's hiding in the office. He's like hiding under the desk. Take cover. Oh, I'm afraid of Max Crosby. Are you effing kidding me? It is so clear that the Baltimore Ravens just got cold feet. They wanted their picks back, and they realized the market for Trey Hendrickson isn't that robust. So we're going to get our picks back, use the physical as an excuse. The guy just had meniscus surgery, so of course it's not going to look that great. We're going to say, oh, it's a long-term issue. We'll get our picks back and then go sign Trey Hendrickson. But what a putty cat move by Eric DaCosta. You keep Max freaking Crosby. Have some professionalism. Have some class. You have him waiting for 5 hours and having to ask like some secretary, hey, where's the effing general manager, the guy that just traded for me? DaCosta, zero balls. Zero balls. Oh, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, Garrett.
No, it really is. Like, to me, yeah, when you're bringing him in, the GM needs to be the first person to dress you, or the owner, the coach. You roll out all the red carpet for a guy like Max Crosby. And look, dude, I understand that you're going to get essentially a better deal with Trey Hendrickson, but I still would have rolled with Max. I think karma's a MFer, and that the Ravens better be careful with how they handle this situation, because I got a real weird feeling it's going to come back to bite them in the ass this season.
We have a trade in the NFL.
Ooh.
What do you think the trade is?
Is it A.J. Brown? No, because I guess it
Hold
would
on.
be. Oh, is it A.J.?
There is a trade involving the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, shit.
You think it's A.J. Brown?
I don't, but.
There is a trade involving the Philadelphia Eagles. Can I give you the first initial of the first name? A.
Is it A.J.?
It's not A.J. Brown.
I didn't think it was.
The Panthers are trading veteran quarterback Andy Dalton.
Oh, gee, I didn't even know he was still playing.
The Red Rifle to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 2027 7th-round pick.
Oh, damn. Wow. I didn't even know Andy Dalton was still in the league.
I'll give you some instant analysis on this one. I think it means that there's another trade coming in Philadelphia.
Ooh.
Tanner McKee, the backup quarterback. I'm going to assume that Tanner McKee is going to get dealt. It seems like there's some market for him. I don't know what you're going to get. I don't think he's all that good, to be clear. But if you get a 3rd or a 4th round pick for Tanner McKee, I could see the Eagles saying goodbye. Like, why would you go trade a 7th round pick for an old quarterback at Andy Dalton if you like your backup quarterback, or if you're not getting rid of your backup quarterback?
It makes no sense.
Man, the Eagles make a trade. A player involved in the deal is a guy with the first initial being A, and it's not A.J. Brown.
Damn.
Oh, my God.
Do you feel confident? Huh?
I think it's a lock that A.J. Brown's going to be on the Patriots.
Okay. You're pretty okay.
Like, I am operating under the assumption that after June 1 happens, A.J. Brown will be on the New England Patriots.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a 1, a 4 that could turn into a 3, or maybe just a 3 outright. I think that's going to be the concepts of that deal.
How do you think Philly replaces it?
Oh, they brought in Marquise Hollywood-Brown yesterday. So you have Devontae Smith, you have Marquise Hollywood-Brown, you got Saquon Barkley. and you got Dallas Goedert. And I think the biggest part of that trade is the quarterback and the wide receiver won't hate one another anymore because A.J. Brown's going to be in a different state, and Jalen Hurts is going to be the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's how I kind of look at it. All righty. Tomorrow, we will take a look ahead to the quarterbacks in the 2027 draft class. And with the Dolphins getting rid of Jalen Waddle, maybe Devon Achane could be around the corner too. Are the Dolphins the team to beat right now for the number 1 overall pick? As I guess we could say right now it's a march for Arch. But there's some other quarterbacks in the mix. Big thanks to, we got to wrap up our poll question today. Who needs a ring the most? Wow, kind of surprised by these poll results. Connor McDavid, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Judge, or Josh Allen. 36% say Connor McDavid, Josh Allen 32%, Aaron Judge 25%, Lamar Jackson 7%. If you made me order these, I would say Josh Allen is 1. Connor McDavid, even though he lost back-to-back Stanley Cup finals, will be 2. Aaron Judge would be 3. Lamar Jackson would be 4. But the final percentage is, once again, McDavid 36%, Allen 32%, Judge 25%, and Lamar Jackson in at 7%. Big thanks to Logan. Big thanks to Andrew. Big thanks to Garrett. Big thanks to each and every one of you. YouTube.com/@365SportsYT. YouTube.com/@365SportsYT. Subscribe at Zach Gelb, Twitter and Instagram. Big thanks to Zach Berman for joining us also on TikTok at The Zach Gelb Show. We will talk to you tomorrow on a Thursday. The NCAA tournament. I got the first 4, but the real tournament, it does start tomorrow. And we will carry it along throughout the entire way right here on 365 Sports. I'm Zach Gelb, Monday through Friday, live right here at 365 Sports from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 to 3 p.m. Central. We will talk tomorrow, everybody. We out. Bye-bye. Peace.